World War II was a conflict that reshaped the world in countless ways, not least in how it expanded roles for women in the military. Among the most groundbreaking contributions were those of female pilots who defied gender norms to take to the skies, serving crucial roles in the Allied war effort. Although often overshadowed by their male counterparts, these women demonstrated extraordinary skill, bravery, and determination, paving the way for future generations of female aviators. The need for women pilots. As the war intensified, Allied forces faced a critical shortage of male pilots due to the demands of frontline combat. To free up experienced male pilots for combat missions, several countries turned to women to perform vital non-combat flying duties such as ferrying aircraft, training pilots, reconnaissance, and transport. These women pilots not only kept aircraft moving across continents but also challenged deeply ingrained beliefs about women's capabilities in warfare and aviation. The United States, Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP. In the United States, the Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP, was formed in 1943, consolidating two earlier programs, the Women's Auxiliary Ferrying Squadron, WAFS, and the Women's Flying Training Detachment, WFTD. WASPs were civilian volunteers who flew every type of military aircraft, including fighters like the P-51 Mustang and bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress. They ferried planes from factories to air bases, tested repaired aircraft, towed targets for live anti-aircraft gun practice, and trained male pilots. Despite flying over 60 million miles and facing dangerous missions, WASPs were considered civilians and denied military status until 1977. Yet their courage was undeniable. Among the notable WASPs was Jacqueline Cochran, a pioneering aviator who helped establish the program and set numerous speed records. The Soviet Union, female combat pilots, and the Night Witches. The Soviet Union was unique in deploying female pilots not only in support roles but also in combat. The Soviet Air Force created all-female combat regiments, the most famous being the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, nicknamed the Night Witches by the Germans. Flying old, slow biplanes without radar or radios, these women executed daring night raids against German positions. Their harassment bombing missions were highly effective and terrifying to the enemy. The Night Witches flew over 23,000 sorties, suffering heavy casualties but earning the respect of Soviet and Allied commanders alike. Women such as Marina Raskova, who founded these regiments, and Nadezhda Popova, a leading Night Witch, became national heroes. The United Kingdom, Air Transport Auxiliary, ATA. In Britain, the Air Transport Auxiliary, ATA, recruited female pilots to ferry military aircraft from factories to frontline squadrons. These women flew a wide variety of aircraft, including Spitfires, Hurricanes, and Lancasters, with no radios or instruments, often relying solely on maps and landmarks. The ATA was one of the first organizations to allow women to fly military planes, and female pilots had to meet the same rigorous standards as men. Among them was Amy Johnson, a record-breaking long-distance aviator who joined the ATA before her tragic death in 1941. Canada and other Allied nations. Canada also formed women's ferrying units, such as the Canadian Women's Auxiliary Air Force, CWAF, contributing to the overall Allied air efforts. Australia and New Zealand had similar programs, with women pilots supporting training and transport missions. Challenges faced by female pilots. Despite their vital contributions, female pilots faced widespread skepticism, discrimination, and limitations. They were often denied combat roles, subjected to lower pay, and excluded from military rank and benefits. Many fought hard to prove their skills in a male-dominated military culture that doubted their abilities. Tragically, many female pilots lost their lives during their missions. For example, the WASPs suffered 38 fatalities, and Night Witches faced relentless enemy fire. Legacy and recognition. The bravery and skill of female pilots during World War II changed perceptions about women's capabilities in aviation and the military. Over time, their service paved the way for women's integration into armed forces worldwide. Recognition came late for many. The WASPs were granted full military status and veterans benefits only decades later, while the Soviet women were celebrated as war heroes almost immediately after the war. The ATA women also gained greater acknowledgement in the post-war years. Today, their legacy is honored in museums, documentaries, and films, inspiring countless women to pursue careers in aviation and the military.